Deep beneath the surface of the ocean, something is moving. You can't see it on radar. You can't spot it from a plane. It travels thousands of miles across open water, silent, invisible, and packed with cocaine worth hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not a military weapon. It's not built by a government. It's a submarine built by drug cartels. Hidden in the jungles of South America, criminal organizations have been constructing secret submarines to smuggle drugs across entire oceans. Turn 58 Search 44. And in 2019, one of them did the impossible. It crossed the Atlantic. Turn 58 Search 25. This is the story of the Narco submarines, the secret vessels cartels don't want you to see. Welcome back to Wisdom Chronicles, where we uncover the world's most disturbing untold mysteries. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, because tonight's story sounds like science fiction, but every word of it is real. Welcome to the hidden underwater world of drug trafficking. To understand narco submarines, we have to go back to the 1980s. Back then, cartels moved drugs using speedboats, fast vessels that raced across the water. Turn 58 Search 45. But as radar technology improved, those speedboats became easy to detect. Turn 58 Search 45. The cartels needed something smarter, something that could hide. The first real breakthrough came in 1988 when authorities discovered a strange 21-foot unmanned submarine off the coast of Florida. Turn 58 Search 22. It was empty, but investigators realized the hatch could only be opened from the outside, meaning it was designed to be towed and secretly submerged. Turn 58 Search 22. By the early 1990s, the Medellin cartel began seeing these narco subs as the future of smuggling. Turn 58 Search 45. A vessel that could travel great distances, avoid radar, and slip past the authorities. The underwater era of drug trafficking had begun. Here's what makes this story so unbelievable. These submarines aren't built in factories. They're built in secret shipyards, hidden deep in the jungles of Colombia and Ecuador, along remote rivers, buried under thick forest canopy to avoid detection from above. Skilled workers construct them using wood, fiberglass, and metal, materials specifically chosen to be difficult to spot on radar. Most of them are what experts call low-profile vessels. They don't fully sink underwater. Instead, they sit just below the surface, with only a tiny cockpit and exhaust pipe visible above the waterline. A typical narco sub is around 15 meters long, with a slender shape, a diesel engine, and just enough room for a crew of 2 to 4 people. Some are even more advanced, equipped with GPS navigation, powerful engines, huge fuel tanks, and enough supplies for weeks at sea. And the payload? Several tons of cocaine per trip. Once built, these submarines enter what could be called an invisible highway across the ocean. For decades, the main route ran from Colombia's Pacific coast up to Central America and Mexico. Crews of just 2 to 4 people would spend days, sometimes weeks, crammed inside a cramped, hot, fume-filled metal tube. Conditions inside are brutal. Very little space, extreme heat, and the constant fear of being caught. But the payoff for the cartels is enormous. A single successful trip can deliver cocaine worth hundreds of millions of dollars. In September 2019, the US Coast Guard intercepted one such vessel in the Pacific, carrying around 12,000 pounds of cocaine, worth more than $165 million. And that was just one submarine on one trip. Experts estimate that a huge share of cocaine leaving South America now travels this hidden underwater route. For years, one thing was considered impossible: a narco submarine crossing an entire ocean. Then, in November 2019, everything changed. Off the coast of Galicia, Spain, authorities captured a 22-meter submarine that had traveled roughly 7,700 kilometers across the Atlantic, all the way from South America. It was carrying around 3 tons of cocaine, worth over $120 million. The 3-man crew had spent nearly a month at sea inside that cramped vessel, and when they were spotted, they tried to sink the submarine to destroy the evidence. It was the first confirmed narco sub to smuggle drugs from the Americas all the way to Europe. One underwater warfare analyst who had studied over 160 narco sub-incidents called it extraordinary. The rules of the game had officially changed. The cartels now had the ability to reach across the world. Stopping these submarines is incredibly difficult. They sit so low in the water that traditional radar and sonar often can't detect them. Catching one requires aircraft, intelligence, international cooperation, and a huge amount of luck. And even when they're caught, the crews often try to sink the vessel, sending the evidence and sometimes the entire cargo straight to the bottom of the ocean. But the technology keeps evolving. Cartels have built electric-powered subs to run more quietly. Some vessels have even been found fitted with satellite internet antennas for navigation. And most shocking of all, in 2025, authorities discovered the first unmanned, remote-controlled narco submarine, a vessel with no crew at all. It's a constant cat-and-mouse game between the cartels and the authorities. And the cartels keep innovating. Today, narco submarines are no longer a myth or a rumor. They are a proven, growing global threat. Near record numbers have been intercepted crossing both the Atlantic and Pacific in recent years. They've been found heading toward Europe, spotted off the coast of Africa, and even intercepted attempting to cross the Pacific toward Australia. What started as crude, homemade boats in the jungle has evolved into sophisticated ocean-crossing machines. And with unmanned versions now appearing, experts warn this underwater smuggling method may only grow harder to stop. The ocean is vast, it's deep, and somewhere beneath the waves right now, another one could be moving. Secret submarines, built in the jungle, crossing entire oceans, carrying billions of dollars in illegal cargo, completely hidden beneath the waves. The story of narco submarines is a reminder of just how far criminal organizations will go to stay one step ahead. While the world watches the skies and the roads, the cartels went underwater, and the deep blue ocean turned out to be the perfect hiding place. But as technology grows on both sides, one question remains. In this invisible war beneath the waves, who will win? If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Wisdom Chronicles, because the most unbelievable stories are the ones that are true.